let's get this in focus. It's not in focus. This might be either one of my dumbest ideas or one of my best ideas. I'm kind of making this video off the cuff, and I guess I would call this more of a video note than like a produced video, I guess. So basically, I have this idea where I've got like a fictional story and I have to go to different locations, and in these locations I shoot it and then I create my fictional story about it. And this series is all about like mental health and invisible illnesses and social problems and social situations, and just about these characters and these little, like, there's like a main story and like a sub story. And that's been the idea for a long time, and I've been sitting here on this idea trying to write, and every single time it just gets harder and harder to actually write it. And so I was thinking to myself, like, what can I do to make this real? And like, what is missing? Like, what's stopping me from doing it? And I was thinking to myself last night, why am I creating fictional stories about struggles of fictional characters when real people are going through and overcoming real struggles and real challenges and facing real fears? I don't need to make this up. I can talk to people, and I want to, but it scares me. Like, you'd think that the guy that loves to talk so much wouldn't be afraid to go up to a stranger and ask them, hey, what's your story? But that's terrifying, because I'm afraid that I guess it's the one area that scares me the most. Is something I care about. If I care about it, it scares me. You know, and when it comes to creativity and putting myself out there and putting out my stories and my things, that part, I'm vulnerable. I'm actually open then. I'm literally showing you who I am in that moment, and that scares me. It's terrifying. And so I feel like it's time to face it, like being out of control. You know, where like this story can go any direction. I don't have control over what's happened in this person's life. I can't make this up. I have to go with what they tell me. It can go from a really light thing to something really deep, and I need to now figure out how to utilize that. I want to respect their gift to me and share that, but I'm afraid of my own skill set. Like, am I good enough to do that? You know, like, I'm never going to be as good as I feel that I need to be in my mind. So what is the other choice? What are the choices on the table? Well, there's only one choice. There's only one thing that I can do, and that's just to put myself out there and do it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with my friends. I'm going to talk to them and see. Here's the thing though, all right? The thing that I've noticed in a lot of the content that I consume, because I've really started to focus in on messages within my illustrations, and the thing that I started to notice with a lot of the people that I love to follow is that they focus on the pain. Their art is a way of getting that feeling, that emotion, that deep, hard feeling, and putting that out there and letting other people identify with that. And it's beautiful. It can be very beautiful. It's an expression of something more than just a pretty face, you know, or just a cool character. It's got depth to it. And of course, this is for illustration. You know, other fields have different reasons behind why they do what they do. So not everybody needs to do this, but for what I'm trying to do in my illustration and for what I look for when I'm looking at artwork from other people, I need that depth. I need that thing that makes me go like, yes, I feel this. But all of the stuff that I found that was closest to what I'm looking for ended in pain. It ended in, you know, something harsh, you know, like the feeling of loss. The only area where I feel like people can go from it started in pain and went to success is love. And I'm talking about like romantic love or family love, which is great. It's perfect. That's amazing. But I want to hear about the stories of everyday people looking for happiness in their life, looking for that perfection, and how they went about it and the challenges that they went through on their way there that weren't just about like I fell in love at the end, or, you know, of course there's going to be some of those, and I'm open, I'm super happy, I hope I do find some of those, but I also want to hear or see stories about, like, you know, I was at rock bottom, or I was living on the streets and I went through depression, whatever, and I came out of that. And then I want to illustrate that. And that's the important part, because these stories are told and they are explored, and I feel I love the people that explore those, but I don't see too much in visual illustration because it's hard to illustrate. Then I succeeded because, like, the happiness at the end feels very similar. I'm happy because I'm happy. And people illustrate that in very similar styles of ways. But I feel like there's a lot that can be said and a lot that can be shown if you learn about someone's story first, what they go through, what they felt, the things that they had to deal with, and the challenges that they had to face to get to that point where they finally succeeded. And then that happiness at the end of that accumulation of this life experience, this moment, that can be illustrated. That moment of like, you know, I've made it. You break through that wall and you come out on the other end, and you've made it. That moment I want to try to capture somehow. I want to try to capture it within the videos. I want to try to capture it with art in the videos, and I want to try to capture it with illustration afterwards that I'll post somewhere on the internet, probably my Instagram. But I feel like that's the best way. So again, this is just like a voice note for me. So I'm just kind of getting excited because it's like, yeah, I can do that. I can do this. And I can kind of like think about it right now, because I do a lot of voice notes, but I rarely turn on my camera for it. So I kind of like how I can kind of like plan it all out like this. But yeah, that's what I feel like I can do with this. And so I guess for another note for myself, the way that I want it to be visually, I have very strong visual ideas of like what I want to see in this. And one of the main things that I'd like to see is if I have the location and I shoot the place. So for example, if I go and I sit down with one of my friends who I know has gone through something, everybody's gone through something. So one of my friends that has gone through something, and I sit down with them like, all right, look, let's get some lunch or let's get a snack. Well, let's talk about your life. Like, where are you right now? What is it that you're trying to do? Like, what makes you most happy? What do you think in your life will make you most happy? All right, now let's go back and talk about some of the struggles. Like, what is something that you went through that was so hard for you? It was terribly hard. It hurt you like crazy, and you had to climb back up from that bottom. You had to climb back up from somewhere where nobody else, you know, you felt like you were all alone, but you did it and you succeeded. It can be small, it can be big, whatever. I think the small wins should also be celebrated. But what is that thing? And I want to sit down and talk with them. And as they're telling me this story, you know, and as we're having a back and forth and exchanging energies with each other, you know, energies of just living and life and feeling, I want to have the location that we're in, because I love, like, I'm a big fan of cafes. I love exploring cafes and seeing them, and because they have different energies to them. And I want to have that location become the catalyst for the story. I want, beside us, drawn characters showing up and just showcasing what's happening in this person's story. Maybe somebody else seeing it and experiencing that with me, and identifying with somebody in one of the videos or some of these stories in the videos, and also seeing like they went through this hard thing, but they made it out and they're continuing on this path upwards, even though they were at the bottom. Maybe that can bring some more happiness and more hope to the world. And I feel like right now it's definitely needed, because things are getting tough. Even out here in Toronto, things are getting tough and things are getting dark. So I don't know. I want to do this. I want to challenge myself to get out there, talk with friends, meet strangers, you know, make friends on the street, talk to people that I probably would never talk to normally, and connect with them and find out their story and create something wonderful from the gift that they gave me and that connection that we have together. And hopefully I can use that, and, you know, with my own advice and wisdom and whatever I've gained over this 31 years of my life, hopefully I can give that back and help other people to, you know, maybe enjoy what they have now more, enjoy their life more, take more risks, or you know, take that first dive, that first step within something that is uncomfortable for them, or something that's scary. That's the goal. So yeah, anyways, I think I'm done. Just blabbing onto my camera. I haven't done this in a while, so. But yeah, that's all. I want to utilize it. I want to use all my skills. I want to use every skill that I've built up so far to create something that's exciting and inspiring and can revel, or I don't know if that's the right word, but something that can beat what Art Tips and Life Blips was for a lot of people. Something that's higher than that. Something that makes you guys go, yes, I'm so happy I clicked on this channel. It's so inspiring, and not just for one reason, but for the cumulative whole. I don't know. This is exciting. It's exciting that I have this idea. I just need to go out and do it now. So I just got to go out and do it now. Okay.